Hello there, and welcome once again to Candid Conversations with Liz. And I am Liz. Good to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see everywhere buzzing. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm trying to just get to see the people online for now. Okay, let me see. Where's my. Okay. Yeah, so yes, I can see you. Emmy Ofems, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, Jennifer Gboli, I see you. Thank you. Michael Martins, Timothy Ojoma, thank you for joining us today. Temitope Olujimi, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Akinola, Samuel, Treasure, Funke, Comfort Agbo, Victory Francis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Candid Conversations with Liz, and I just want to welcome you officially to our second edition. Um, Thank you for those who joined us last time. That was last month. We had an episode on Candid Conversations with Liz, and we had amazing, amazing guests on the show. We were talking about myths, general myths with marriages, relationships, and it was quite an interesting conversation. And today we are delving into communicating expectations. We all come into marriage with expectations, and we need to know how to communicate these expectations appropriately. Um, are we listening to each other as we communicate? Do you understand my language? Do you know my love language? Can you communicate with me the best way you should, not the best way you think you should? Now, what are those things I want? Are you willing to give me those things I want? Are you willing to say the things I want to hear, or you just want to say the things you want to hear, or you want to say, or you want me to hear? And today we have, of course, amazing guests in the show. Very amazing. And just this evening, when they walked in here, when he drove in here, I was trying to open the door for the wife. Omo, the woman locked the thing, oh. And I was wondering, like, let me help you open this door now. And the man goes, but that's my job. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Where's my husband? You have to start opening door for me. Oh. When last did you open door for me? And you know
This
that thing
setup.
they say in Nigeria, that when you see a man opening the door for his
Maybe
wife,
the
it's
door is
either
faulty.
the door is faulty or,
Something is up.
or something is up. Maybe she's angry and he just wants to force her out of the car. But I was so shocked. You guys are models, like seriously. And you're going to be meeting them shortly. I guess I'll just read or bring up their profile before we meet them. Just hang in there. We'll be right back shortly.
Namfe and John Ochogo, homemaker plus professional equals humble powerhouse. Namfe is an anglicist, a multi-level marketer, and an avid homemaker. Her hobby, John, is a leading business executive in architecture, engineering, and the construction space. Annan and Johnny, as they are fondly called, met during their undergraduate days in the University of Jos, where they served in the same dance troupe as minstrels at the campus fellowship. They started dating shortly after they got married in 2005. The couple have been married for almost 18 years and are blessed with 4 children and are going strong. Often teased as a humble powerhouse couple, the Ochogos have faced real problems just like everyone else, and though not having it all, continually leverage their God centered relationship to weather life storms, succeed, and prosper as a family unit. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome the Ochogos.
18 years in
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 marriage?
20, in 28 days, because on
Okay.
28th
Oh,
of May,
okay.
that's
Your
8 days,
anniversary.
exactly 18.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wow. Wow. That's
So we're 18
beautiful.
years less 1 month.
And you don't look it.
Well,
You don't look it at all.
Well, that's because we've decided to just act like boyfriend and girlfriend. So,
that's our
Which is the
first reality.
best. Oh, interesting. So, let me ask you first. So, what would you say marriage is? Like, just in a word, your marriage now, peculiar to you. What would you say marriage
The
is?
phrase,
Okay.
a co-creative journey to our collective destinies.
Wow. Okay. How about you, ma'am?
a partnership
Okay.
with agreements, understanding, just put it
Okay.
in that way.
Okay. So partnership, co-creating.
Co-creation, yes,
Oh wow.
because you have a vision,
Interesting. Yeah.
where you're going, what the end state is, and you have this amazing help with whom you'll both try to get to that goal together. So,
Okay.
co-create success.
Amazing. 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 Okay. So to the discussion of the day, what would you say communicating expectations is? Like, can you just maybe explain to me what you understand by communication? Because, of course, I know we all come into marriage with expectations, right? What would you say is communicating expectations?
You want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Okay, so why don't we just break down the words?
Okay.
Yeah, communicating expectations in marriage.
Okay.
You already defined marriage, so let's come back to communicating expectations. Communication is a loop
Okay.
where you encode a message, you project the message is received, interpreted, and a reply is framed and then sent back. So I encode, I transmit, you receive, you decode, you encode, you transmit, I receive, I decode. So
Yeah.
you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk, or you communicate, I understand, I get back to you. That's communication. So in my wife's words, building a bridge
Oh,
from
great.
one party to the other.
So the other.
Yeah, so
One
that's
location to the other.
yeah. So
Oh,
that's communicating, and then expectations. Expectations pretty much outcomes at the end of either an activity, a plan, a change, an event, a thing. So, what do you see at the end? What's your vision? If I were to give you money, what would I get back from you? The expectation.
So you see the end,
Yes.
even from the beginning, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
need to be able to visualize
Yes.
an end.
So that end that is now hoped for is now the expectation. So how do you communicate what you expect at the end of A, B, or C venture? Where the venture in this case now is marriage. So what do you expect at the end of, maybe at retirement, maybe at the end of today, maybe after the meal, maybe just after I give you a glass of water now? What are the expectations? So it's a progressive horizon of different aspects of life where you expectations. Spiritual, intellectual, business, family, social investment. There are many aspects to your life in this
Yeah.
co-creative
Yes.
journey,
Yes. Yes.
and you have expectations at different stages. So you should be able to communicate those to yourself in the framework of marriage to reduce conflict.
Oh, great. Beautiful. Beautiful submission there. The way you broke it down. You're an architect, right? So I get it where you explain things. He's a teacher. The way you're breaking everything down to the nitty gritty. Yeah, yeah, that's really really nice. Okay, so how important is it now bringing it into marriage? How important is it to communicate your expectations? Now hold that thought. I sampled opinions, and I'd like to I'd like for you to hear what. All right, so let's just have that roll so you hear what other people have to say about that before you make your own submission.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, just.
I think it's very, very important because we're wired differently, we're channeled differently with different school of thought. So if you don't air out whatever it is, the other party will not be able to know how you feel and what is expected of the other person. Thank you.
I would say it is very, very, very important because what you think he understands, the person might not really understand, especially in marriage. Recently, we had an issue that, for me, I was really not happy about it. And the guy came with a gift. I thought he understood. And that's why he came to appease me with a gift. Until much later when he brought the issue, because one thing he likes discussing, and was asking what really happened then, that he does not really know why I was reacting, but he just thought he has to bring a gift. And meanwhile, I felt he understood. So we had to now come back to visit what we should have communicated. So I think it's actually important to always communicate your expectation. Thank you.
Okay, so he said, she said, like conflicting understanding, interpretations, and all of that. So what do you have to say?
You know, lots of times when we talk of communication, sometimes we think it's just the verbal, but there are various types of communication.
Yes,
You
yes,
could
I
actually,
agree.
there's the body language, there are pictures, there are other things that that you can use to communicate to tone and other things
Yes.
like that. And as I think one of the first person that spoke said something, she said, because you are wired differently, we have temperaments, 4 different types of main temperaments, then you have the other variations, and lots of times we end up with, I think there's a school of thought that says opposites attract. And you see, when you have opposites attract, you continue. As in, you have fewer reasons why you would need to, that would cause a clash between both of you. And then back to the importance of the communication. For you to be able to go one direction, I think the Bible somewhere, the passages talks about, except
They be agreed. Yeah.
so if you agree, whether it's in marriage or in relationship with friends and other people around, you see that because you don't agree, you cannot go in the same direction. Then you always have this communication. So really, you need communication for you to be able to, as I said, build the bridge to take to your location, which is where you want to be. And that location, are you going to benefit from it? You would have peace, there's joy, there's lots of other things that you would find on that side. And that is what all of us are, well, I believe everybody would want to walk towards that, which is why lots of times when we now get to meet, decide to say I do and things like that, we all come with our own expectations. We are thinking, oh, it should be like this, it should be like that, it should be like this, and things like that. But we will talk about other things.
I'm laughing because she just takes me back to when we got married.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Well, there's not much to hear there, but I'll anchor on the second respondent to the Vox Pop, who had a case of parallel realities. What Baba was saying and what Bebe was feeling were two different things, shall. But in the guy's eye, he had made his message clear. I think beyond just communicating expectations, we should also clarify expectations, and even progressively per time. As the frame, as the hand of cards changes, each time you pick 7 new tiles in Scrabble, you reset now. So at all times, guy may be saying A, or party B may be saying B, but at all times it's good to have a clarification. So always ask clarifying questions. Is this what you mean? Is this what you have said? Is this what we have understood? Is this what we have agreed upon? Because if you're not clearly aligned on expectations, you may not even know when you have scored. Because in football, yes, there's a goal post. Anything that doesn't enter this square, this rectangle, is not a goal. No matter how beautiful the kick is, it's not a goal. So let's know what the goal is. Let's know what the end state is, so that when we score, we'll say, yay, everybody, let's celebrate. 1-0, we've scored. Yeah, it's good to always clarify.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. Viewers, are you here? Like, are you hearing what I'm hearing? Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, seriously, I don't know what you are waiting for. How about now? Support your girl now. Do I need to beg you, sis? If I have to, I'll kneel down here and beg you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, comment, share. Yes, very importantly, share so that others would also come here and hear these things that you're hearing. These are life transforming conversations we're having here. We're gisting, but we're passing messages across to you.
Real life humans.
Okay, yes, real life practical issues.
Humans.
Yes, so takes me to this. What are your okay, let me not say what are your expectations now. Let me not say that. That would be too personal. That would be too personal.
Yeah.
But I believe you have expectations when it comes to raising your children, homemaking, sex, in the other room.
It doesn't have to be in the other room.
Okay, oh, okay, fine. Please tell us where else.
When we were young, there were places other than the other room. But now that we have
You are still young, oh, I don't understand.
No. 5 kids later.
Ouch.
5 kids later, congested house. There's now less space, except when we send the kids away, and then we're able to get a little more creative.
Which I know you do a lot.
Okay, let's not go there.
With the wife.
Okay, he sends them away with the wife.
To go chase paper.
And then with that,
Oh,
come back and you see when I come back, for us it works. He just chases me all around, just follows me around. So I think sometimes you actually need to give your partner space
To breathe.
to breathe for you to be able to enjoy your relationship.
I think every woman wants that. And I see some men don't understand when a woman says, I just need to breathe. Because you're burdened, let me not call it a burden, it's not a burden,
You're
but
always
it
on.
can be a burden sometimes if it's not checked. If you don't get the time to go and just
Renew,
refresh
recharge,
and renew
rejuvenate.
and recharge yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, you need that. It could be a night, a weekend off by yourself.
Yeah.
It could be with just 2 of you without the children. It could be just you and the children, just basically give yourself that room to recharge. Right?
Guys on that. I'm a guy who's blessed to enjoy the love, respect, adulation of my wife's friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That's a good one.
yeah. So she was giving me the hard knocks and giving me the kusa,
Pusa.
the issue. Her friends were still there, actually rooting for me. And yeah, I don't want to go into the details of that, but if Linda is watching, thank you, Linda. You know what you did? Yeah. Linda pretty much came to rescue me from depression in the hostels.
Oh, you met in school then?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, we're in University of Just together. And Linda took her time to come and say, hey, there's hope. She's not done with you yet. She'll come back, don't worry. Just hang in there, keep praying.
Oh, so she was forming her to get.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Yes, but
And you got her eventually.
yes. In fact, Linda, I don't want to praise too much on air, but she's done so much for us, even giving up a toe for us.
Oh, wow. Okay, I heard that story.
Yes.
Oh,
While
wow,
preparing
wow,
for our wedding, you want to tell the story? Okay, while preparing for our wedding, that last week, when you're picking up the gown and some stuff like that, I think we were going to get the gown either for resizing or something. And students now, she was a medical student at the time. She had an accident and summarily lost a toe.
Wow.
Yes, from a bike accident. Not far from your house, is it? Yeah.
What a love.
They were able to rescue the toe and put the toe back on, but she missed the wedding. Now, I said that to say something. Linda, Nike, Aisha, God rest her soul, beautiful woman, Uti, I can name all of her friends, and I have personal relationships with them, and I see the benefits of their being in her life because I didn't pluck her from 13 Jingri Road just like that. She was from amongst a pod of friends who helped to keep her sanity going. So each time I release her to them, hey girl, take your girls out, go to Dreams. When she comes back home, she's recharged, she's fresh. So it's my dream to have money and say, hey, take your girls out. You girls go chill in Dubai and come back. Go for like 4 days. Or go to Madagascar. Just don't look at young boys. When you don't come back. But I feel when I release her, each time I release her like that, she comes back refreshed.
Wow.
Yes, and she's away from the pressure of always being mom, always being wife, always being prayer contractor, always being everything else there is.
Very
Yes, so you should invest in refreshing and recharging your wife's batteries so she's able to at least give
You enjoy
herself.
her better.
Absolutely.
Really. And that goes to the women too.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to release your men too.
I
too,
think
you
when
know.
we first got married, because he always goes out to work and comes back, I'm at home, I just crowd him all around. And one of these days he was like, find what to do with yourself. I said,
Oh, wow.
"Keep busy." And I'm
Did
thinking,
he say it like that?
I think he said it like that.
No, it was Mama T's message you listened to, and then
Okay.
you drew that conclusion and
No.
asked if you were being too present, something like
No,
that.
you actually pointed out I was being too present at that point in time. And I was like, okay, is that so? So I had to sit down, think about it, and then started giving him space.
But before
sometimes-
you gave him space, because I can imagine my husband coming to tell me you're crowding me.
He had just
Guy,
come from work. Oh.
How am I crowding you now? I'm meant to be in your life 247. I don't understand. Like, just that,
Twenties or
were you
early
angry? Were you angry when he said that to you?
I felt hurt actually, and I was like, okay, that means I'm just giving this guy too much attention or too much love. All right, in that case, I'll just slice some off and just give him space, whatever it is.
Did we have babies then?
I don't think we had babies then.
So
So
you had all the
I just
time.
found what to do with myself.
And that
Found
helped you.
books to read, and then when he comes back, yeah, jump, hug. That used to be my favorite part of the day when he returns. But then somehow, when he now started having less of the time, you see, he began to value me much more.
Oh,
When
wow.
he started having more babies. He became too busy. There were times he's like, I've been following you for how long and you didn't notice. I'm like, I'm too busy to notice. But then, as I think men also need the space. There are times
Yes.
we crowd them so much. And then there are times, I think some people might not agree with me. You want to check, okay, where have you been? What is on the phone? Who is he talking with? I think that's too much stress. You are giving your find what to do with your mind yourself. Sometimes you become paranoid by the time you start to do those things. Oh, he's not back. Where is he gone? What is he up to? Who is he with? Those things actually put a lot of stress on women. So learn to relax, find what to do with yourself. Sometimes, when you even decide not to even give them so much attention, that is when they follow you.
Yes.
All right, I shouldn't have said that in front of
Yes. No, but it's true.
you, so
No, but it's true. You won't know. That's the thing. You won't even know.
instead of putting too much, dragging, pulling and all, just find what to do.
Strategic withdrawal or absence works. We have discovered that a long time now. Each time she pulls away, maybe for like 3 days, maybe they go for the weekend, just wedding, family function, or one thing or the other. I find when she's back, like, ooh, her stocks just went up.
Ooh, wow.
And she knows something will happen.
Yes. They have to happen. Why would they not happen? Yes, it is. Oh, that's so sweet, so sweet. So, well, it's buzzing here. Somebody's saying here, Okunovo Mosumola, very important topic for couples to know. Ifoma Malik is saying recharge your wife. Very apt. And I'm saying recharge your husbands too. Very apt. Okay, so how do you manage differing expectations in your marriage? Like, how do you manage that? Okay, maybe not only in your marriage, like in marriage generally, when you have differing expectations. How do you manage that? But hold on. Let's also listen to what people have to say about that. Yes, before you give us your thoughts. Yes, you know how you have expectations. This one's own expectation is different from yours. How do you now manage all of that? Yeah. So let's just hold on and take this. We'll be back.
I would say that there are two ways. So first way is that I communicate it when it's happening, like as it's hot, so you serve it back. So when you have an expectation, it's met or it's not met, it's good to be able to communicate that. But periodically we have conversations. There are some that we have on a daily basis, maybe around prayer time. Then there are some that we have monthly basis, that when we hang out or stuff like that. So basically is we have the planned one, then as it comes, we just communicate those two.
Well, yes, of course. There's a reason why when top organizations employ a first-class graduate, they take him to a training school. They are communicating expectations so that things don't go wrong. He'll be sacked before he gets anywhere, irrespective of his talents. He needs to understand what the goal is. Same thing for relationships. Where purpose is known, abuse where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So when you communicate your expectations, it makes it clear to your partner what your expectations are, and of course they will work towards trying to align themselves to what your expectations are, because conflicts can arise if they do not know. If this does not please you, if you hate things being strewn around in the house, and they don't know that, they could just do exactly that and you'll be hurt. If they don't like to eat banga soup and you think everybody likes banga soup, if I make it, he'll be happy, and you go ahead and do it, oh, you're in trouble. So communicating expectations definitely will help to mitigate conflicts in the family.
Yes, communication is really important. It's needed when you have conflict, most especially when you don't settle or have the same background knowledge of a particular issue. So you have to communicate and talk and reason together about that particular matter. For example, you want to put your child in a school and you prefer a particular school because of the way they teach, and your husband don't like that, maybe because he wants a safer environment and that is more cleaner. So, you have to come together, think about it. At a point you have some conflict, you resolve and talk about it. So it's very, very important to communicate when having conflict. Thank you.
Okay. So you just heard that. What would you like to say?
I would say that
About that.
communications are key to every relationship, because once you understand each other, as I said, you are able to get to the destination which you would want to get to. However, I would add the fact that how is your expectation being communicated? That
Very
also
important.
is very important, because Proverbs would say, I think, is it Proverbs 15:1? It says a soft answer or a gentle answer turns away wrath. So I can come and give you the same thing said in one way and accepted nicely would be said in another way, and it would cause
Offense.
offense. So let's know how to pass our messages to our partner. And then timing too matters.
Yes,
there are
very
times that you
important.
just come, the person is busy with something else. It might be a different issue. You're talking about a different issue. Of course, you don't expect that you're going to get, the person is going to, your partner is going to accept you or receive that message with ease or with full attention. And then you're thinking, but you're not looking, you're not listening. And you see, there are times that we might be talking with a person, the person is not even looking at you. You know he's not even listening. And yet you think, okay, but I'm trying to say something, I'm trying to get somewhere. I think that's the brick walling, is he's just not there, or he's busy with something else. So I think as we pass the messages, we should also check for timing, and then let's agree. I think early in our marriage, we agreed that we would never shout at each other. We would not stand and argue in front of our children or outsiders. And in the 18 years, we've not done that. If for those that are unable to say, oh, okay, I just want to give it to him hot, I just want to give it to her hot, the way it is. It doesn't always, if you're unable to achieve your aim, you've been unable to communicate whatever it is that you want to tell your partner. So let's find, if you're angry, you can decide to, okay, let's back each other, get a paper, let's write whatever it is, let's pass to each other and then start talking about it. No raising of voices.
Yes, very
Let's
important.
agree. So once you have those agreements, when one person is crossing the line, you can nicely tell the person you're crossing the line, or you're going a different way. Or you can simply just decide, okay, we'll talk about it, but let's all cool off. Give ourselves 5 minutes to cool off. Then we can come back. There's one of my friends who say water in the mouth. So when there's water in your mouth, you cannot talk. So you would have to just be quiet at that point in time. So it's let's not only talk about, let's not only think about, oh, it's just what I want, I'm telling you, and you are not listening. Let's also know how to pass that message across.
Okay, so but how do you deal with conflicts?
So, there's conflict management, but I think you should do justice to the first question you were dealing with, and then you come back to that. So, let me just write down here, conflicts. Aha. So back to where you were. You're talking about managing differing expectations.
Yes.
And by that you mean expectations of party A and party B being at variance and being different. Yeah. Now in managing that, I always think that people should be objective. Yeah, because subjectively, I want a plane. I want a yacht. I want everything else there is. But objectively, there's what's possible. Yeah. So as a family, you know what's on your asset side, what's on your liability side, and these expectations can go across all planes, from expectations to do with the family unit as a business, to expectations to do with each project. Having children is a project. Building our house, or renting or building a house is a project. Choice of car is a project. Type of food we want to have. All of these are different projects and activities that we're going to have. And across all of these fronts, we have expectations. What happens when you're coming from Mars and he's coming from Venus? Or she's coming from Venus and he's coming from Mars? What happens when I'm a barrack boy and she's a bougie, posh, touche, just girl? You know how they are now. Their parents, her grandfather is a doctor, my grandfather was a farmer and a warrior. So you see the difference. Yeah, so there's going to be that variance. But what I'd like to share there is what we call the happiness formula. I learned it from Tony Robbins. It says, when your life conditions equal your blueprint of expectations, happiness naturally occurs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you listen to all the respondents that spoke earlier, one talked about need-based planning. As a unit, me and you, where we're going now, this journey that God is helping us, what are our expectations? What are we doing in 2023, 2028, this one, that one? You write them down, you plan them, you discuss them, you reason them. The other one talked about difference between what is planned and what is actual, being different. How do you handle that? Because it's like, okay, I expect that when I have a child, you should be able to buy Pampers. If it's not happening, what can we do about it? Another one talked about preventing conflicts from these variances between what we thought we ordered versus what we are getting, you know. And then all of this talks about reasoning together. So if you put all of this together, at all times, ask yourself, what is our reality? What's our life's condition? And then once you've established that, the next question is, what is our blueprint of expectation? What did we think it was going to be? When you find the difference, the degree of that difference is the degree of your discomfort. So it's to address it. Either you're going to adjust your expectations and say, you see, but this thing no go work like this. Now, I was just talking to my wife when we got in here. I said, if for some reason we don't finish project B by this time, then we will have to consider alternative B, which I was telling you about. You understand? So we're revising it as we're going along because life is a progressive horizon. Things keep revealing and the hand of cards keep changing.
You mean to tell me now that expectations change?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
As you grow older?
We have discovered so.
And other factors also can actually add to the expectations changing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be a sick parent, it could be maybe having a
special
needs child, it could be financial, it could be
a partner.
the
causing
package
change.
ordered was
Right?
different from what you
Yes.
got.
Yes.
That also can be a problem.
It could be an appointment. It could be a positive risk. It could be anything. But as your hand of cards change, each time I go back to the game of Scrabble because I love to Scrabble. Each time you dip your hand in the bag and replace your tiles and you have 7 new tiles, you're looking for a different word. You're looking for a premium, but the combination is not the same. So life will always give you a different hand of cards at all times. You go to bed, you wake up, you're grateful for strength. But today now, as we day like this now, based on what we want to achieve. Sorry, for non-Nigerian viewers, you'd have to find a Niger friend to help you interpret. But sometimes we go to the code, to our own Creole, our Pidgin English. But that said, at all times, you reevaluate based on your parameters of cost, scope, time, resources that are available to you per time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so there's so much happening here. So I have Mojisola Olatinwo. She says, I quite agree. Ifoma Malik says communication is key when you have expectations.
Yep.
She also says communicating them just as you start thinking about it, like don't wait. As they hot, Abby?
Yes.
Give it.
Yeah.
See, they hot.
There's a principle there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Annette Arrow says communicating expectations is a very important issue most couples have to deal with in practically all aspects of marriage. It's very important. Without communication, I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, so Victory Francis says check for timing. Annette says I used to assume that my husband and I should instinctively know what we each expect.
Mind benders.
Based, yes, mind readers, right? Based on observation, as if we live together or something. I can't really make out what she's saying, but it's not automatic. We must talk about the things we need. We need to talk about it. You know, Digipreneur says it's important to remind your spouse when they are crossing the line.
Thank you.
Very important, that one.
Don't sweep it under the rug.
Don't sweep it under the rug.
wife says-
There's an elephant in the living room, and you're just going round the elephant. You need to talk about it,
When
right?
my wife says, small boy, you're in trouble though, I'm like, all right, John Ochobu, you're no longer CEO. Listen to this woman. She has something to say.
Tumi Adepoju says positive risk. You know, I wonder sometimes, like, when I was about to get married, when I started courting my husband, we would go to Millennium Park then, and we had this book. It was a workbook. Now you're speaking my language. And we would ask the silliest of questions. We planned our lives that period, what we wanted to see in our marriage. That was when we agreed, because we have similar values when it comes to marriage. Because I heard you say you don't talk back at each other, you don't raise your voices, you don't quarrel with the kids around and all of that. Those were things we told ourselves we're not going to do. And of course, we're 11 years in marriage now, and small meal, see me.
help her, this God.
Yeah, my children, they will tell you, I've never seen mommy and daddy quarrel. Is it that we don't quarrel? We do. But we agreed, we had this communication, and we decided this is what is obtainable in our own homes. Like, these days, I don't see a lot of singles do that. I see basically people going on dates. I see them, going to the cinema, which is very, very good. It's very good. But there are some things you need to settle.
Settle the we,
Settle,
not just
yes,
the I.
not the I, the we. Settle it before marriage. Very important. So, which leads me to the next question of expectations from a guy. This is for singles. Expectations from a guy or a girl that seems to be leading you on, friend zoning you. Both of you, it's possible you love this guy and you have been waiting for him to ask you out, or he loves this girl and he's just been waiting for only God knows what before talking. And we're talking just now, you mentioned that there was someone that went for 10 years without saying anything. Like, seriously, I don't know, what was the woman, even the lady, waiting for?
It's this way. Sometimes ask, how do you boil a frog? If you dropped a toad or a frog in boiling hot water, it would spring out so fast.
True.
But if you kept it in the water and turned it up 1 degree at a time, he'd not be aware that it was being boiled. So you're hanging around this maiden and you're wasting her time, you're kicking her tires, you're just serving her the superficials, you're not addressing the big rocks, you're not doing the main things, you're not taking the steps. The project is going nowhere. We're constantly deliberating, debating, planning, talking, circumventing, testing shoes.
Undefined relationship.
Undefined.
You're going nowhere. Now, here's the deal. From when you made contact, if she was aware that you would take 10 years, she would not have stayed with you.
True.
Because she thought it's just for as long as it takes to get to the first date.
Possibly she didn't even think. It didn't start as that.
Yes.
It's just as it went along, you now began to see, okay, there's a possibility here.
But you see, now she's thinking there are 5 steps to this: planning, initiation, execution, monitoring and control, close out, sign marriage contract. We're married. 5 stages, right? And she's thinking we can start and finish, get to first date, share ice cream after maybe 2 weeks, maybe get to meet her friends after maybe 4 months, maybe premarital class at some point. Maybe you have timelines that are averagely to be expected. But here we are, it's 9 months and the baby is still not showing. So yeah, because you have timelines. So we're thinking, okay, worst case scenario, in 2 years we'll be married. I asked Nancy out 19th December 1999, and I said to her, girlfriend, we're going to get married before I'm 30. And 1 month to my 30th birthday, we were happily married after all the quarrels, because we left room even for that. For the 1.5 years that she nailed me.
Please, how did she nail you? I need to know. That is show that
he nailed,
she put.
or he nailed me, or nailed himself.
So it was a very big hammer she used.
So
giving you the show.
I'm a man who's used to having his ways.
Okay.
And
we agreed. And he was the one that let go of the girl, like I was just the bad guy.
Well, let me summarize by saying it was a time when I was way too close to her in age to look like I could achieve my objective of marrying her. So it looked to the world like I needed to make some more money, look like I was settling down before I could be asking for her hand in marriage. So I would say her team and council of advisors.
He had other plans that I didn't really fit into.
Yes,
he
love.
had plans.
I wanted a 3rd degree.
third degree.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
I know at the time I was done with my second degree. I was just running up my second degree. I wanted a third degree. And she was thinking, what if you went and didn't come back and stuff? So let's leave that one by the way. So we agreed that maybe our timelines for marrying were not going to perfectly align. So in that case, if someone comes up that meets all the conditions, fine. But until I see a ring on your finger, I won't ask another woman out. That was our conversation. Yeah. And long story short, after everything, Sha, 1 month to my 30th birthday, we still got married.
So there was no ring. You didn't see any ring.
Did I move 1 inch away from her?
Oh my God.
You know, there are times I still accuse him of not asking me to marry him.
He didn't ask you to marry him. So
just
what are you
started
doing
planning.
together?
I'm sure that he was.
I don't understand. Like, how did you now agree? He didn't ask you.
I asked her out and asked that we go steady, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we get started. And me now, Juman, she's my first girlfriend.
Aww.
Yeah. So
Sweetheart.
no, cool down first. So Juman decides that the first lady that he decides to go the whole hog with, that he decides to toast and everything, before toasting her, she should have met the conditions for being his wife. And his intention is, unless by some other superhuman means he fails, it's to be honorable and to marry her. That was my intention. I didn't go out looking for a girlfriend. My girlfriend was affection when I was in school. So I went out looking for a wife. And when I found a girl that met my standards, I turned all the heat on her.
And he found
My
one
intention-
he called a sister first.
Yeah.
Oh, you were a sister.
He was just my
No.
big brother, and I just was
wow,
happy
big
to just
brother.
have their attention.
Again, why are you going into the details of that? We're supposed to be talking about communications, not
All right.
Part of it now.
Anywho, so I go after her, and at this point it's clear she's accepted me as her boyfriend. So what is the next step now? It is to marry. So let's come back to helping this friend zoning, bro zoning, and then time wasting. Yeah. From the beginning, we defined attractions. I like the babies. Sorry, I love petite, bone thin models, magazine models, and see the profile now.
Correct.
Right there. So I knew I had found first physically what I was looking for. And being a churchy guy, because then I was in church and faith-based work a lot, and I love the things of God and the Spirit. Christian, and I needed a Christian that could walk with me without us having conflict on grounds of religion. And she was, in my mind, the ultimate Christian. And she was in my church. And she would be at every prayer at 5 a.m. What more was I looking for? So I knew this woman had to be had. So I did everything I could. I threw all my guys. They auditioned her. They screened her. And they all approved. Should I call their names?
I didn't even know.
You didn't know? Oh my God.
I only heard the story afterwards.
All my guys approved. And so when she met the conditions, I said to myself, there's no way I was letting this girl go. So I went after her like hard. And I set my timelines. Did we have any money? No, we did not. But we knew that the next step was, okay, now we're going steady. Next step was, we will have to meet the families. Next step was, we will have to do traditional. Next step was, we have to do, we had the times.
Well,
and we
we are
made them
ready.
out. And we tried a little bit. You will never have all the money in the world.
I know.
But if your intentions are noble and you have a degree or you have a vocation or you have Namari wa Mariba, yes. Are we agreed that we're going to try and court and date with the intention of marrying? Yes. Now, if after 6 months or after whatever timeline you're giving yourselves, he is not looking in that direction and you cannot get him to come to that direction, then girlfriend, run. Because he just may be there to milk the cow, and if he's getting the milk, why is he going to marry the cow or buy the cow?
No,
If you get the milk for free, there's no
for free.
point.
There's no need.
Yeah, so if I can have both, why do I need to buy a car in a city I'm not going to live for long? Because I can always go somewhere else. So guys have longer time on the shelf, and I don't think it's fair to be wasting women's time. Yeah.
And I would always tell the young people out there, when I talk with them, I say, marry your friend. There's somebody you've already built the friendship, communication, and other things. Not like
Emotional
it's
capital.
perfect, it's already sealed because you keep knowing each other. You also are also discovering yourselves and all that as we grow older.
Yeah.
So basically, you don't say, this one is my friend. Why should I marry this one? Who else
So
will you
you're
marry?
talking
You
from
marry your
experience.
friend. Exactly.
You are speaking from experience because you had that same issue.
We are still friends after how many years? About 26 years of
But you
knowing
had
each
the
other.
reservations about marrying your friend. Your friend at first.
Initially, I had that reservation. I don't know where we got it from.
You changed her mind. How?
When we were much younger, I don't know where we got that ideology that why should you marry this guy is too close to me. Why would I marry my friend now? Let me marry somebody else. I even thought of it at the time when he asked me. I was like,
She's kind of running away.
friend,
You
no,
called her.
nah,
You
how?
called her.
But then
Spider-Man.
I gave myself a sense. Marry my friend. Who else
you
should I
marry?
marry?
If
Is it
not
not
me?
easier?
If not me,
Because
who?
at least I understand this person. This person is easygoing. I think we sort of understand each other. So is it not better I go with that person?
If not me,
And you see, as you said, we don't look like we've been married for 18 years because
Yes.
we've tried to maintain that friendship, which is what you lack in some marriages today. When you get married, you just get into the whole
See finish, enter.
see finish with enters. You say, okay, that's
That
you
over
just-
familiarity
yeah, over
comes in and breeds
familiarity.
contempt.
And then you just feel, is it not this? Even if you have grow apart,
Yes,
I think that's what
very
causes
important.
lots of
Yes.
problems in marriages. They end up growing apart because they didn't
Indifference
build
kicks in.
that. They didn't build the friendship, which comes from communication, which we are talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, interesting. So okay. All right. So yeah, Pastor Esther, I see you. Thank you for joining. Judith Adejo says here, don't die in silence. Speak up. Olufemi Elizabeth says, straight talk. Thanks for this platform. You're welcome. Chimdi says, nice one. Funke Amu says, the friendship part is so vital.
Yep.
You know, I grew up praying to get married to my friend. Because, person, I don't want to sit down in that house and it is yes, sir. Good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Your food, sir.
1914.
They do this a lot, mind you. They do this a lot. If not that I'm married now, that's how they'll be oppressing me. Every time I meet this people, they'll be oppressing me. I don't understand.
Calming down.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Don't expose us too much.
I'm here to expose you, trust
Wahala.
me. Okay, so how do you manage unreasonable and unrealistic expectations? There are just some that you know this one is unreasonable, it's unrealistic.
If you tell yourself the truth is unreasonable, because sometimes we do not believe it's unreasonable when you begin to
At the
make
start.
those demands and things like that.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to know what your spouse is capable of, because there are times, as you said, if I come now and I say, maybe I want a plane, how is he going to get it?
Exactly.
Is he going to steal? Okay, we have to rob, and even that rob will have to be a high level robbing to be able to get that.
Yeah.
So you
heist.
have to know what your spouse is capable of,
All right.
first and foremost. And then lots of times, I think we compare a lot. We forget that every relationship, just like we have our prints, thumb prints, they are all different.
Yeah.
And our tongue prints are all different. So is every marriage and every relationship different. So when you are expecting, but in my father's house, this is what happens. This is not your father's house. This is you and your spouse. So you have to agree on the things that will work for you. Because if I always give this example, if you have a branch, for instance, a fresh branch, when you bend it, it bends. So when the spouse bends, you bend. At least it's going to bend and fit into wherever you want to put it. But once it is already dry, it's fixed in its ways, and you try to bend it, what happens? It breaks. That's why in the end, when you don't have those expectations, those high expectations you've placed, you now begin, you see that lots of issues begin to come into, you start complaining. And then another thing, sometimes, okay, I'm beginning to lose.
No, let me help you
this
finish.
thing.
Variance in project management. Again, sorry, part of what I do is project management. Variance in project management is measured as the difference between what was planned versus what's actual. So if you planned that by month 6, you'd have done 1,000 cubic meters of concrete. and you come and measure by month 6 and you find that you've only done 700. The difference is 300. That is the extent of your pain or your worry. But if you come and you find you've done more than you plan to do, that's the extent of your extra joy. Yeah? True. So when you have expectations, at all times, you should be able to first measure what is possible. Is this thing specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? Can we achieve it within this time? Yes, this is it. We document it as our plan on January 1. Anniversary, May 28th. Oh yeah, is this thing still feasible or not? What can we change? What can we take advantage of? So at all times, you have to be realistic because you have cost structures on the one hand, revenue streams on the other hand. If you don't have enough revenue to carry all the costs that you want to carry, you have to adjust. And this is not just for projects or materials or money. It applies to behavior. It applies to every other aspect of life.
Expectations.
So my expectations are that I don't want to see clothes on the floor, or I want my food ready here with the sun shining on it at this time. There are expectations of all sorts. Yes, like
you should have certain number
I
of
make
children.
a mess of shedding when I get into the house. First foot of shoe is out by the door, second one out by the living room, and then jacket falls by the bathroom door, and then by the time I'm done molting like a snake, I'm all over the place. I know what her expectations are because she's from a very organized house. I'm not saying we're less organized, but they had more access to facilities. Yeah, growing up they had more space. We had less space. So in their house, you lock all doors. In my house, oh come on, who needs doors? You know, so we're very different. Ask her, she'll tell you. We're very different. In fact, this morning we were looking for an instance where we ever had a disagreement of any sort. And we had to go through 26 years. We couldn't find any. Then we now found one, which came from a fundamental difference in who she was and who I am. I'm patriarchal from the village, and she is very aristocratic from the city. And Sha, you remember that story now about JR? Okay, let's leave that story out of it. But it was a clear-cut case of difference in expectations. And she told me how we handled it, and I was like, oh, well, I was quite crude then.
Just put it to me, and that was it.
I just put it to her, that was it.
I just...
I'm Sylvia's son. All right, so please, your next question.
Do you ever have cases of, I told you so?
As soon as before I got married, the first thing my mother told me was, never tell your husband I told you so. So, even when I'm thinking, yeah, I said it. I can see it in her eyes. I don't say it. I just try to keep
I'm like,
a straight face. I'm like, oh, is that so? Are you sure? I just try to, okay, is that so? Sorry. And all right, we'll find a way of getting past it and things like that. So that is it. Never tell a man I told you so.
When I put my finger in the fire and she's watching me, she's like, I'm like, as soon as it happens, I don't think I see that satisfaction. Like, I
Told you so.
Well, I didn't know I was that readable. It was that obvious. I thought I did a good job of hiding it.
He can read you like a book.
You just see a billboard in her eyes. I told you.
No, that is you imagining, because at least he's
actually your
aware.
imagination.
Yes, he's aware that I had said it. So he just looks and is expecting a hair. So what has she to say? What you said has
Guy
happened.
code. Let me give the guys a clue here. If you think you're smart, the woman that is your equal is light years ahead of you. If you think you have one sharp calculator here, imagine that she has ChatGPT 5.5 ahead of you. She's gone. She's not your mate. The woman has something called the Jefferson's organ. It's been argued to give her extrasensory perception relative to the male across the table from her. So if we're going to fail, a woman knows that we're going to fail long before the man is even aware of it. A man might be hit by the brickbat before he's aware that, oh, failure has hit. But the woman sees it coming from miles away. Women have that extrasensory perception. And most times, in fact, what my dad told me, he's still alive, 72, 73 in a couple of months, was if he had listened to his wife earlier, he'd have done better in life. Yeah, so women have that extrasensory perception. So guys, you do well to listen to them. And she never said, I told you so, but every time that I thought I saw that in her eyes, I knew it was going to happen. As in, she gave me all the warnings. I just was bullheaded, and I paid the price, reset and continue. But the point is, listen to your woman. This smart.
Well, I would say
No, never tell her
listen,
that.
it's good to listen to.
You never tell her that.
No.
Well, he doesn't. He's actually a builder. He would always.
She feels too safe to fail.
I do. We are human. I'm human.
No, but she's
So he would always
she's a safe
push
person.
me, but I just try my best. Anyhow, even when I
My wife cannot
does
jump out of
fail,
the plane.
he'll tell you.
Can you jump out
Of course now.
Why would you want to do that?
Fun.
Okay. Okay.
My wife cannot even jump from a high ride.
Why would you jump from a high
No.
ride?
There's this ride at Wild Wadi. We were out with the kids in Dubai. And my 7-year-old daughter at the time was Zoe. How old was Zoe? She was about 7 at the time. She was excited to get in the ride. Her elder brother, of course, and loves fun like his father. He was ready to go. And then there was this one.
But I got in.
Yes, you did. But you were screaming. And the kids were like, yay! And then I was having a blast. That's my wife. She's just so tame, so calm. But it's a perfect balance and compliment to me because...
Okay, so how do you navigate unspoken words and assumptions?
You want to go?
You know, I asked him this evening, I say, how do you manage me? Because there are lots of times when I'm trying to communicate something to him. I'd go to the end before I come to him to tell you what it is. Yes, I go to the end, then I come back to the beginning. And by the time I'm there, I'm thinking, okay, say it already, whatever it is you are saying, or I'm trying to understand you at this time. So I asked him, I said, so how do you manage with me and that which I do? And I gave him a funny face. Like, well, he'll tell you how he manages that, since he's the one in that boat, on that shoe.
Okay, so I don't read minds. I don't have the gift of clairvoyancy. But most times, when I see the context within which she's trying to speak, I put out the whole thing and speak. It's like a puzzle. So when she gives me this piece, I put it, that piece, I put it, this piece, I put it. Then to the extent that the piece is not complete, say, sugar. Not vex, so but I'm lost! So can you help me understand this and this part and this part? And she's like, okay, this is what I meant. I'm like, aha, now we're agreed. Now you've communicated.
So in the first place.
And then we love to beat around the bush.
Yes. So that helps us. And then she's very intuitive. She's very in touch. She's very emotional. Me, hard, logical algorithms. That is me. I don't do subjectives, I do objectives. Everything must make sense, must have dimensions. So we try to balance that most times. Yeah, when she comes with subjectives, I'm like, okay, so can we break it down to this? And that's how we end it most times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. So our time is actually
I know.
fast spent.
Yeah.
I wish
But
we
it's been
could
fun.
go on and on and on. Viewers, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask, how do you feel? Now this is to the viewers. How do you feel when your expectations are not met? How do you feel when your expectations are not met? If you want, you could for us to read out, because I know there's a feeling that comes with unmet expectations. I'd like to also take someone that I had to interview concerning this very question. So just hang in there, we'll be back.
Basically, I'd say sometimes it can be a little disappointing, and sometimes I'd say I can be understanding basically, because you are in a relationship, it's between you and someone else, so you might not expect someone to act or do exactly as you want. But as long as there's effort for me, I think that goes a long way. Effort is the main thing for me. So to be sure that we're in the same page, at least I want to see you putting in effort. So sometimes it's actually disappointing. Honestly, to answer the question, it's actually disappointing that you have expectations and they don't meet it. But the question is, me on my own part, am I meeting the expectations of the other person? So I have to be understanding because of reasons like that. Peace.
Okay, so that's it. Unmet expectations can be very disappointing.
Yeah.
Can be very, very
Hope
disappointing.
the heart sick.
Yes. Bible is clear on that, right? Yes. Okay, so it was really nice having you.
It was a pleasure.
It was
Our
really, really
pleasure.
nice. I'm very sure you're going to come back. I'm very sure you're going to come back. Yes, of course, I will have you.
We didn't break no tables today, so I think it's safe to have you.
I told you.
I played it safe with the guys.
Okay, okay. So maybe when next you come. All right. So thank you, viewers, for being here with us. I hope you've subscribed. I hope you've given us a thumbs up. I hope you are shared. Thank you for joining us, and so many comments here. Yes, so very, very importantly, we need to marry our friends. Yeah. And that goes to the singles. We are married already. We cannot change it right now. Single, please. Very importantly, marry someone you can play with, someone that understands you, someone that you can be free with, someone you can be yourself with, right? And before that, you need to ask questions. Sit down, have heart-to-heart conversations. It's not all about shawarma, ice cream, cinema, and all the good food. It's good, don't get me wrong. I love those things, but beyond that, you need to settle some salient things, some very important things that would either make or mar your marriage before you get into marriage. And that's why you get a certificate on your wedding day.
In advance.
Because you're meant to work it out. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us. We are really, really grateful. I'd like to thank my husband. Oh God, he's been very, very supportive. Sweet, you know I love you. You know, I can't even say that enough. I love you and I thank you for being supportive. You have been the best, and I mean it from the depths of my heart. And I want to thank my back end crew. Sam is here today. Thank you, Sam, for being here with us. Bolu, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Moji, thank you so much. And there are still some other ones that are not here, but I just want to say thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for supporting me. I'm back to you again. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to thank you. It has your name on it. How sweet. Okay. And here is Namfe.
Okay.
Yes. So every day when you wake up in the morning, oh, you can seal it. You can seal it. You can seal it. That thing you just spelled now. You can KISSING. Yeah, more like it.
If you had 2 minutes, I'd have given you a bonus class.
Oh, okay.
Yes. You see, when we started, what was her name? Was very, very popular at the time with the Into the Sea of Forgetfulness. There was a song 70, you forgive my sins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Baylor, yeah, I think Baylor or something like that. Helen Baylor at the time. Yes. So we decided. Then I told her, I said 2 things. 1, love is a choice. I will choose to love you till the day I die. Yeah. 1, 2, make a mistake, make 1,000,000 more. But I have forgiven you in advance of everything you can come up with. Yes. And we summarize it as what we call selective engagement. Yeah. So we decided that long before we even knew that it was possible.
Oh,
But stop
Yes.
saying sorry and stop repeating the
Saying
same
sorry
old
and repeating
thing.
the same crime
Change,
because
please.
grace abound. No, we agreed on something called selective engagement. And in that selective engagement, we always interpreted things from a loving intent, never from a hurtful intent. So even if Nancy honestly made the mistake of pouring hot water on my foot right now, it can't be because she hated me. It's because she made a mistake. So we always step back and try to see that girl that I fell in love with or that boy who's been my friend. Always reset that perspective. So 4 things I always do. 1, if offense does occur, we handle it and talk about it immediately. But if tempers are so inflamed, we reset to address it later. That is 1, the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
You handle matters immediately. 2, we practice loving engagement. She knows me crude and crass and everything, but my heart is pure. She knows that. And I know that she may not be the most technologically savvy person in the world. Yeah, that's her weak point. And there are times when I have to speak in language that is less than boardroom language, you know. So we understand our differences at all times. We love each other as they come. And then 3, we also give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. She is not an angel. I am of mortal flesh. I am not a god. I am but mere human. So we're always mindful of these. And then the 4th one, if I want attention, I know when to get it. Not when she wants to pray. Not when someone wants to pray. Or not when she's going to WWP. I will get, and she does not come near me when I have a task or I'm listening to the news or something, or I want to watch a fight, an MMA fight. No. So with this small room, we have been able to make that small space manageable for us.
So we have boundaries. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Boundaries, guys. Boundaries. So with that, I think it's a good place to end the show, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. You're switching.
I'll use the non-facial use the Johnny.
Oh, how
So that
sweet.
so when I look at her at the mug in the office, I know.
Guy, let me go and do for me and my husband. Though.
See,
Okay.
see what?
It was nice having you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
dear viewers, thank you for being on the show once again. Until we meet again next month, it's a monthly program. Until we meet again May. Remember, love is a beautiful thing. All you need to do is nurture it and watch it blossom. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Around the floor.